DrTranquility Lydia, and we are coming to you today. I can't wait till we're back in the studio, but this is Dr. Tranquility Talks, Dating and Conscious Relationships. So stay with us, and we'll be right back.
Yeah. Heard they wanna stop the party. Well, tell them we gon' party. Few shots got her horny. The way that she move got me on it. They ain't stopping no party. She rockin' that body. They ain't stopping no party. Shot, we gon' double shot it. Couldn't wait to get.
Tired of taking pain pills that only take the edge off your pain? Tired of ablation and injected steroid procedures that have to be done over and over? Maybe you continue to suffer because pain is not what your doctor was taught. It isn't coming from nerve, disc, spine, or even inflammation. I'd like to help you understand more about your pain and how we can help you make it go away. I'm Dr. Hal Blattman, based at the Blattman Health and Wellness Center in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Would you like to find balance between your personal power and harmonious relationships? How would it feel if you can exert your will in partnership without exerting too much authority and finding an effective balance that works? A chakra recharge can help you do just that, whether it's before a first date, an existing relationship, or a work relationship that needs an infusion of positive energy. Visit KellyRayCoaching.com. Kelly, Kellie, Ray, Rae, coaching.com. Just click contact on the website to schedule this $25 mini distant Reiki session with Reiki Master Kelly Ray for a better you.
Hi, I am Dr. Tranquility for Lifted Infused Teas. That is at LFTD Infused Teas, found on Facebook and Instagram. Lifted Infused Teas are amazing. They are created with premium alcohol and cannabis, so you don't have that groggy, hungover feeling the next day. You know what I'm talking about. They come in an array of exotic flavors. 6 with premium alcohol and 6 alcohol-free. Among my
We are back, and I'm so excited to be able to present to you Donna Lynn Civello. She is an amazing blogger. She's a writer for The Observer. She has numerous columns. You'll find her on The Observer. She has a Ethereal Wellness is the name of her blog. She also has a wonderful book out called Life Lessons. And I have no idea why I'm not on screen, but I'm going to assume I can be heard. So I'm just going to keep going. Hi, Donnalyn. How are you?
Hi. Nice to hear from you. Nice to see you. Thank you for the invite.
It's wonderful to see you too. We're not seeing me, but I'm not going to worry about that. I think it's because we have such a long lineup and some of our segments are on right now. And so it bumped me off the screen, but that's okay. That's okay. So I'm excited that you're here. I read some of your columns, and Ethereal Wellness is such a wonderful blog. What was the impetus for Ethereal Wellness?
Oh, wow. So 10 years ago, I went through a huge breakdown, a huge loss of identity. I lost a full-time job when the magazine I worked for closed overnight. And then all 300 of us lost our jobs. And then I lost the man I thought I was marrying to another woman. A few months before I thought I was marrying this person. And then I literally lost my home because we lived together and I had to start over. So, and I joke all the time that I literally had $98 in my bank account and I had to start over. So,
Wow.
Yeah, it was a period of reflection for me. Like all of that had to come down 10 years ago, but my own healing inspired me to teach others. Because I learned so many of the patterns I had in relationships were playing out over and over again, and I never saw them. And so then I dedicated my life to starting Ethereal Wellness and teaching people, you don't have to lose your life, over a relationship. You can just learn the lesson. You don't have to lose your life over it. And so, because I recognized that there were so many patterns I was running, and I was like, oh, that wasn't a coincidence. That was the same as the relationship before and the relationship before. And why didn't I see that? And so then I found my way to numerology and I was like, oh yeah, had I known this, I would have been in a much better place.
That's great. Well, we were, I'm so sad, members of the assemblage.
Yes.
In New York, and that's such a beautiful group. And I know you did a lot with the assemblage. Did you ever, yoga, especially as you're a yogi?
Yeah.
But did you ever give any talks that I might have missed on this topic? And is there somewhere that people can see you as you talk about life lessons? I know we're going to get into the book in just a minute. That's her book, guys.
Yeah, no, so I did several workshops while I was there, and I did a lot of them on numerology and relationships.
Right.
One of the big ones is Life Lessons in Love.
Yeah.
7 Spiritual Laws of Love and Relationships, and it's one of my favorite. I've taught it in 3 different countries. I love it. It's a fun. It's a really great workshop.
That one I saw, but I couldn't make it. But I remember thinking, I want to see Donna Lynn because I heard so much about you. We bring a lot of the tribe onto Dr. Tranquility Talks Conscious Dating and Relationships, especially for the national audio, the syndication on the radio. And so it was just such a wonderful, loving community.
Oh, it was amazing. It was my home. It was.
It was Soho House with a conscience.
Well, I think the New York Times wrote us up as being the Soho House for spiritually conscious, mindful people, if I remember. In their article, they actually had a photo of me in the article. I was like, fabulous.
Yes, we love that.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, I know that you've been on Princeton television and so many, and I have too, actually. And we have a lot of similarities and so many other places. What can you tell us about iHeartRadio, of course? What can you tell us about your book, Life Lessons? What was the most important message that you wanted to get out when you wrote Life Lessons, and then certainly when you published it?
I mean, really, it was that if something is happening to you, especially in relationships, again and again and again, pay attention to your life. It's trying to tell you something, right? So I tell people this all the time. When you see a pattern repeating again and again, it's the universe's way of giving you another opportunity to work through the same issue differently this time. I told you, had I realized that, I wouldn't have gotten myself into the same position I was after each relationship. I was like, what am I doing wrong? I wasn't seeing the pattern. So I literally went through so many of the patterns that I had identified. Wow. And I thought, if people recognize that these are lessons and that when they see them repeating, you're meant to get the lesson and get out. You're not meant to keep repeating the lesson, and so but we don't know because nobody ever tells us. So we just keep repeating the pattern and we think, oh, it's such a coincidence. Can you believe like this person was the same as the one before? And what a coincidence. I'm like, oh yeah, no coincidences here. There are no coincidences in the universe.
No.
If something's happening again and again, wake up. The universe, pay attention to your life. The universe is trying to tell you
Tell
something,
you something. Yeah,
you
that
know?
is amazing. And what did you learn in writing the book from the process?
Well, for me, really what it was is, so 10 years ago, it was actually 11 years ago now, when I went through that breakdown and I lost everything. It just was a period of reflection. And I had lost my full-time job, and the only thing I had was that I was teaching 3 or 4 yoga classes a week. And so I would just, if I could just get myself up, get myself dressed, and get myself to that yoga studio and teach a yoga class, like, without crying, it was a good
Mm,
day. It was a good day.
mm,
And I would sit there, and I knew for the first 7 minutes, I always do a Dharma talk, like a spiritual talk, words
mhm.
of wisdom for living. So it could be something I read in a book, or it could be something from one of my teachers, but just a bit of inspiration. And every week I would dedicate something. So I'd sit in front of my students and I'd be like, so this is what I learned about relationships this week. And then I'd be like, okay, well, this is what I learned about heartache. And this is what I learned
Yeah,
about letting go. And sometimes I'd cry, and sometimes my students would cry. But those talks made me stronger. And then students would come to me all the time, and they would be like, do you have that written down anywhere? Like, that was so amazing. I want to share that with my cousin or my friends. And I'd be like, no, it's just
yeah,
in my head. And so, but they kept asking, do you have it? I want to share it. And so
yeah,
just because they were constantly asking, all right, fine, I'll just stick it somewhere. And I figured out I could create a blog. And so I would just give them a link so they'd leave me alone. And then that blog literally became my book.
yeah.
I took a bunch of essays from that blog, and then that turned into, so had a book, and then that turned into getting an invitation to write a column for the New York Observer. And I never meant that.
Yeah.
I was just sharing with my students what I had learned by losing everything, because sometimes you have to lose everything to find real happiness. That was a big aha for me. And so that was one of the lessons in the book as well. So it was really my journey to putting my life back together, and finding all the joy and all the happiness that came from the pain, and to recognize that it was all purposeful, because it made me who I am today, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And to this day, I still thank that man, whom I still love dearly. He's a wonderful person, but I thank him every day. It only took him 4.5 months to realize he made the biggest mistake of his life, and he tried for the next 4.5 years to get that relationship back. But I was over it.
Good.
But it changed me, and I still thank him to this day, and he gets so upset with me. He's like, do not thank me for that. Do not. I ruined my life. And I'm like, no, you saved mine.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And, I know the book Life Lessons is on Amazon, and everyone can find it there.
Mhm.
And Ethereal Wellness is your blog, and they can find that. You can Google and find Ethereal Wellness. It's amazing. And the articles, I highly recommend them.
Oh, thank you.
Each one is so powerful. I was sitting there reading, and I almost forgot I had a show. It was like 4:10, and I'm like, my face is in the blog, and I had put it down from yesterday because I read for a bit of time. It was so beautiful
Oh, thank
and
you.
wonderful, and I thank you for being on the planet and for all that you share because you're very powerful, Donna. Very, very powerful.
Thank you. And my
It's a
writing I
blessing.
love it. So it just makes me happy. It's my way of inspiring myself.
Mhm.
So if I can inspire myself into the best version of myself, then I can inspire others,
Inside out,
inside out.
the most
Absolutely.
powerful way.
Yeah,
That's I have a protocol called date therapy, and that's what it's about. It's about inside out healing and finding a mate.
totally.
So
I couldn't agree more. I
it's
couldn't
just
agree more.
yeah, it's so powerful. I'm just so honored and blessed that you were with us today. I
Thank
enjoy
you.
you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience about
Um,
yourself?
well, yeah, I mean, so when it comes down to relationships, I think honestly one of the things I would recommend the most, and this is something that it took me a long time to learn, is that, it's sort of the law of attraction. You get what you vibrate. You have to be love in order to
Get
attract
love.
love.
Exactly. It meets you right there.
You have to be what you're
Yeah,
looking for. And
exactly.
so many of us, if we're not in a relationship, we're lost and we feel not loved, but you have to love yourself first. And then you can attract everything you want. But you have to be that first.
Yeah,
And
you do.
most people come from a place of lack,
Yeah.
so
Well, again, I hate to keep quoting it, but that's what date therapy does. It really helps you get in there and have that love for yourself. So you're attracting what you want. Because if you don't raise your vibration and you don't feel the power that you have and the love that you have and to share,
yeah.
then what you attract is not really what you're looking for.
Totally. I have a concept with all my clients about dating. I
Mhm.
call it the online frog pond. Everybody wants a prince, but they're all jumping in a frog pond to find the prince. And I'm like, you know what? If you're running a lower vibration and you're unhappy and you're depressed and you're gaining weight and you're not the best version of yourself, you're running a lower vibration. If you jump in that online frog pond, you are going to, frogs love broken. You are going to attract so many, you'll be kissing
Broken.
frogs
Yeah,
forever. You will never find a prince with that low vibration because frogs love broken.
they
But
do.
if you work on yourself, you stay out of the pond, you find reasons to be happy. Because the best life hack in the world is that the universe can't tell the difference between you loving yourself or you just doing things you love. Because the universe responds to vibration. So if you can do things that you love and find joy in the small moments, you lift your vibration. And when your
Exactly.
vibration lifts, you shine. And then you jump in that online frog pond, and that shine is too much for those frogs. They're
Because
nocturnal, so
exactly.
they get out of the way. They're like,
They do. And
and
they
the
do
light
it in
goes.
interesting ways, don't you guys? Very interesting ways, but they clear the path for you.
They clear the path, and your light goes right to those one or
Mhm.
two prince or princesses that are in the pond at that time. But
Exactly.
it's about your vibration. And people are like, during COVID, Donnalyn, where do I go to find somebody? I'm like, it's not about where you go. It's about
But
where
who
you
you are.
are with
Mhm.
yourself. That
Exactly.
person could walk right in your front door. He could be the FedEx guy. Like, you don't know. You have no idea, you know?
Exactly. Well, I thank you, Donna Lynn Civello. Am I pronouncing that right? Civello?
Civello.
Yeah, good. Sometimes I mispronounce names, and that's a thing of mine, so I'm always checking in.
Yeah.
We're honored. We're so honored and blessed that you could stop by and share with us. I encourage. Is there any link that you would like to put out there for yourself?
My website is
Hmm.
www.ethereal-wellness.com. And my blog is etherealwellness.wordpress.com. I had to put the WordPress in there to keep it separate from my blog, from my website.
And
So,
your book is Life Lessons, which you can be found on Amazon.
yep, life lessons, everything you ever wished you learned in kindergarten.
Oh, I love that. I love your book. I'm
Thank you.
getting it immediately, and I'm picking one up for a friend who needs it desperately.
Oh,
So I
good.
thank you so much
Oh, I thank you. Thank you for the
for
invitation.
being with us. You're beautiful. Keep shining, babe.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to be right back with Loren Michaels Harris. And for some reason, I still have Donna Lynn on my screen. My screen just loves you. You know,
I'm like, am I still here?
you are. It's the mechanism to turn off. Yeah, it was right behind the text messages because we allow chats. I don't open chats, but we allow chats here at Dr. Tranquility Talks Conscious Dating and Relationships. If you want to send a text or to ask a question of one of our experts, you're always welcome to jump in, and that'll be on air, mind you. And you can do that at 212-920-1603. That's my New York number, and you'll be right on air. And we are going to come right back with Loren Michaels Harris. He is an amazing man who's become an instantaneous friend that I feel like I've had for years. And it's like, where have you been all my life? He's very motivational. He's extremely inspirational. And we can't wait until you talk with him. And he will be right with us. He's going to talk with us about pulling the trigger And 5 pounds of pressure, pull the trigger on your own goals. Make them happen. And we will be right back. Okay.
Yeah. Heard they wanna stop the party.
And as you know, and I'm coming back to your screen in just 1 second, I don't have staff in studio, so I get to do absolutely everything. And you know what? It shows. So anyway, we are bringing on Loren Michaels Harris with 5 pounds of pressure. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5
5
pounds
pounds of pressure. Yep.
pulling that trigger on your goals.
Right.
Hey, Loren,
How are you?
how are you?
I'm awesome. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed and blessed again. Just
So
to be here.
we're blessed to have you.
Oh,
And this
thank
is
you.
going to be a great new segment that we're going to have on Dr. Tranquility Talks, Dating and Relationships. So, Loren, tell us what you got, babe.
Okay, today for the very first, the inaugural session, or segment rather, of my time with you every week, and I'm so excited. Thank you for the opportunity. 5 pounds of pressure, pulling the trigger on your goals. Why did I name the segment that? Because the first thing is to designate a space for you to hold so that you know, yes, we're always in a race. Every day, every one of us is in a race. Not against each other, but against time, because time is the only thing that has beaten every human being, right? So you want to make the most of the race, but not every race are you a participant in. Sometimes, especially when you're making those choices, because there are only two, the one we make and the one we don't. In order to make an informed decision, you got to know everything about it. So the reason I named this segment 5 pounds of pressure, because that's what it actually takes to pull the trigger. And when I say pull the trigger, I mean the trigger on your goals, the starter's pistol. It gets everything moving. Every lane has a runner in it. One of them is the relationship with yourself. The next lane, the next runner is your relationship with your significant other, or the search for that significant other. In the next lane, your relationship with your business, your brand, your message, your job, your career, whatever it is that's paying the bills, right? And then also there's relationships with our family in lane number 5, lane number 6, relationships with our community. So as you see, every lane has a runner. So we are going to pull the trigger, and every week I'm going to give you something that will allow you to find and leverage the 5 pounds you need to get things going. So today I wanted to start with a question. Are you flatlining through life? What do I mean by that? A lot of people complain about things when life is seemingly up and down, up and down, up and down. Up and down has always been proof of life. When a person is brought back from the brinks of death, say the crash cart or something like that, what happens on the monitor first? The flat line is here, and then it goes up, then it comes down, then it goes up, then it comes down. If you've ever seen, say, a drowning victim depicted in a movie or a television show, and the lifeguard is pumping away doing CPR, what happens to the body when it returns and comes back to continue to fight another day? The body breathes out because it lifts out first. It goes up, just like that heart monitor. Is what you see, is what you feel. Even breathing is based on this same premise / technique. When we breathe in, everything goes up. And when we exhale or breathe out, everything calms down.
Yes.
So even the process of breathing is up, down, up, down, up, down. Now, I like to look at it just like a clock with the going like this, or a metronome. That's why we have a heartbeat. It is keeping a tempo, up, down, diastolic, systolic. Everything is based on that. So the reason I brought this in as the very first way to find that pressure you need to get this trigger going, to start this race, is this. Be careful what you wish for. How many times have you thought to yourself or heard someone say, man, I can't wait for smooth sailing. I'll be glad when everything is just here. Calm down, just straight. That's a flat line. A flat line is proof that there is no life. It is when you get a pulse, a tempo, up, down, that there is proof that you're alive. You're in the midst of living. And so what I mean by that, in relationships, when you're getting to know each other, you put your best foot forward, you're opening doors, you're sending flowers, you're doing all kinds of things. And the longer you're in it, you get past the different phases of a relationship, and you get through the honeymoon phase and all that. And then you start hearing things from people. You start feeling things where you're like, oh, it seems like we're always going back and forth, back and forth. My relationship is just so all over the place. It's up and down. Be grateful. It means that you're engaged and you're in something that means something.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. Did you want to hop in or you want me to keep going?
No, just listening and commenting. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to say the 5 pounds of pressure is to realize why something is happening. If you don't get it on the inside of your relationship, starting with yourself, if it's hard to find, look for the clues. Life has left us clues everywhere you look. I start with nature. Wherever it is you go to ground yourself, whoever it is you go to for great content or to motivate you or to just listen and have an empathetic ear. Remember why you're going. Go and ask, what do you do when things are up and down, up and down? Don't ask, what do you do for a flat line? Because then you may be asking someone who's going to answer you with what I refer to as wall talk. Oh, don't worry, so-and-so, get over it. Not everybody is meant to be in a healthy relationship. Oh, don't worry, you'll get around this feeling of never going to find anybody. Or, I know you just came through that breakup, this fan favorite. Somehow you'll dig your way out. Listen, that's what we do to walls. We find a way to climb over, skirt around, or dig from under. But have you ever heard of a wall of opportunity? No, that's because they're doors and windows of opportunity. Because what is greater than us already knows that if we can see through it, we just might find and summon the courage to get through it. And so, again, be careful what you wish for. Calm is a great thing, but only when attached to Zen-like, But when you feel in your relationships that it's back and forth, up and down, all over the place, celebrate the moments of your life. Be grateful that you have a pulse and that you're going places, right? So that's it. That's this week's 5 pounds of pressure to help you pull the trigger to get all your goals off and running. There you go.
Thank you so much, Loren
Absolutely.
Michaels Harris. And you can find Loren Michaels Harris at gmail.com. And Loren, would you like to tell them where else they can find you?
My name makes it easy. Just Loren Michaels with an S, Harris at gmail.com if you want to send me an email, or LorenMichaelsHarris.com if you want to go in and see all the wonderful things we're doing over here. So also every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Central Time, if you're on Facebook, Bathrobe Moments. It's a morning show to help you level up as soon as the sun comes up. So there you go. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week. Am I still here like the other girl? Okay.
I need to turn myself on. I warned you guys. I'm doing this all by myself, and it's showing because there's a lot to do. So, our next guest is Camille Virginia, who is the mistress, master of offline dating. She is a dear friend of mine. Camille used to work with me as an editor a long time ago. And she has this wonderful book out called Master Offline Dating. She is a fantastic speaker. She's very sought after, very popular, and she just has the greatest energy. So I'm going to bring in Camille Virginia, and she can talk with you about her protocol. Hi, Camille.
Hi, great to see you.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. It's not 2020 anymore, so we've all got that going for us.
Yay! I'm sorry, I'm being attacked by a plant. So it's so good. I'm so glad you could be on the show. So tell us all about Master Offline Dating.
Well, it's been an interesting journey. You know my background personally because we're friends, but I grew up with social anxiety. And so, long story short, in overcoming those anxieties, I found a deep love for connecting with people and eventually transitioned from corporate to starting my business, Master Offline Dating. And it's really just about connection. So this past year has been very interesting with the pandemic coming in, people wanting that in-person connection even more, but having all these social restrictions for our own safety around it. So it's been an interesting year.
It has been. Well, it's perfect. I mean, it's challenging, but it creates new ways to connect. And I think offline dating is so much more powerful than online, actually. I know online is fun and it's easy and you swipe here and you swipe there, but it's offline dating is the real deal. You can get a lot more information about a person watching them in person and watching their body language than you can in a delayed reaction online.
Exactly. And to your point of it being fun and things like that, a lot of people are, especially now, connecting because they're lonely or they're bored. And relationships are a lot of work. So getting over your fears by going up and talking to an attractive stranger, kind of, you get invested, you get a little skin in the game. They do too. Everyone's a little nervous, but that tends to be when the greatest rewards happen.
It is. It's wonderful. So what is a piece of advice that you give for someone who wants to pick up your book and they're not sure what dating offline, I mean, they know what it means, but they're not sure what it implies and what it entails. Like, what is something you want to share with them about your book?
Well, my book is really just 3 chapters, one step per chapter. So I've simplified the process that it's taken me over a decade to learn the hard way. And I've made it as easy and simple and genuine as possible. And the first step is to just be approachable. And I really dig into what does that mean? Because I feel like we can use vague terms like, oh, just be more approachable. Oh, okay. Well, what does that mean? How do so I give very actionable tips. Here's how to wear a bolder color. Like I'm wearing yellow right now just to stand out a little bit more. Or here's a way to make eye contact or get over your fear of eye contact if you're really shy, which I know I was for so long.
Yes.
So that's the first
one. Making eye contact, releasing that PEA, that phenylethylamine, the word I love so much, and the chemical I love so much, which creates a contact. You can actually pull that off online, but it's stronger offline when it's a direct connection.
Exactly.
Yeah, and just be careful if they're staring a little too long or staring too attentively at you for too long a period of time, and you get the sense that you want to watch that. That can be an indicator of something else. But connecting with your eyes is really important.
Yeah, it's primal. It's innate for us. We get fulfillment from that. And it's funny that you mentioned about staring too long. I actually got too comfortable with eye contact. So I had to remember to break my gaze because I had to remember, oh yeah, not everyone's that comfortable. Don't freak them out.
Not only that, but it can, some people who can have interesting issues, we'll say.
Agreed. Yes.
Narcissists and others going further on the spectrum. tend to do that deliberately to overcreate that familiarity and
Yep.
getting. So, but if someone's just paying attention, and we love when people pay attention to us when we're talking to them, it's so nice. And to look in people's eyes. Let me see. Hey, I can't see without my glasses, so I try to take them off during the show, but then I have so much to do for the show that I'm just like fumbling around in the dark and looking at a box and trying to tell what it is. So I thought, no more vanity. But so we have a reflection, but that's okay. I can see. So, sweetie, you look amazing. You haven't aged a bit. You look exactly the same.
Thank you. I have a youthful spirit. I don't know.
You're happy. You're happy.
I'm really happy. I don't know if I told you, but I have a boyfriend. I'm in love.
Oh, that's what's going on. Okay, I'm seeing radiation radiating coming out of you with love and light, and got it.
My face turning red? Yeah.
And lots of endorphins and all sorts of yummy chemicals, oxytocin and phenylephrine and all sorts of yummy stuff is going on with you. I see what's up. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So people can buy your book at masterofflinedating.com, correct?
Or Amazon, Barnes and Noble. It's everywhere. Just Google the offline dating method. Yeah.
Okay.
And I give lots of different options to do my 3-step process because what works for me may not work for someone else. But I love examples and stories. It kind of gets the ideas flowing for, oh, okay, I see how that can work. Here's how I can do it in my own way. So it feels genuine because it's got to be genuine, whatever you do in connecting.
Yeah, you have to feel it. You have to love it. All right, sweetie pie, I thank you so much for stopping by. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, people can find my book on Amazon. I've got a second edition coming out, actually. Because the first book,
when you were writing the first one, it's so cute. It's not cute. She's a professional. But I think she's a little sister, so it's cute.
Yes, yeah, it's the second edition's all inclusive. So the first was written for women seeking men because that's the perspective I speak to. The second is all inclusive. I interviewed LGBTQ experts. I interviewed men, so it's any human can pick it up and know how to get a date in the real world.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. That is Camille Hayes, and Camille, we'll talk with you soon.
All right.
We will be right back. And we are back. So excited to have you with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are going to be having, hopefully, Dr. Brian Rapzenski coming on in a little bit. First up, we have Camille Hayes. And you know Camille Hayes, she does our regular dating segment. She's our girl. I've got all these little sisters, so they're always popping around. And she's also an executive producer on the show, so it's very exciting. Hey, Camille.
Well, hello, Dr. Tranquility. I'm so excited to be back on.
We're excited to have you. So what you got, girl?
So I have a lot of questions, as usual.
Well, we're only going to have time for one.
I was
today.
really excited for Donna though, and
Yeah.
I was so excited for everything that she had to say about like when you were crashing into this area where it's uncertain, and
Mhm.
she brought it out to be such a positive thing. So
Yeah.
I had the question that if you were like in
You mean
reference,
Donnalyn? Donnalyn? Donnalyn Civello?
yeah, so Donna, like I wanted to ask the question, if you're going to be clear to your life and
Mhm.
authentic and positive manifesting your relationship, how do you do so?
Well, I think it touches on what we were saying before. You know, you
Hmm.
take therapy, you start with yourself and you
Okay.
work out. Become what
Yeah.
you want, right? In the sense. So resonate on a level that you want to relate to people on, and you
Yes.
want people to relate to you on, more importantly, because that's something that we'll clearly see. Be very
I
specific
totally
in
agree.
manifestation.
Yeah, because every time I start a relationship, it seems to fail if I'm not doing well where I
Well,
want to be.
yeah, you have to, and you have to be strong in yourself. Love yourself enough that if he doesn't love you, you don't need him. Like if
And
you're
I'm
being,
never gonna kick it with somebody like that, you know, and
yeah,
unless I'm really committed and willing to where I'm at in life. So,
yeah. I mean, be the way you want to be treated. I mean, that's an old rule, right?
yeah.
It's true, especially in relationships. And if you're being good to yourself and you notice that the other person isn't matching you, it'll be more obvious to you.
Yeah, I wanted to be obvious. I wanted to be a clear cut decision.
Yes. Well, I think
Okay.
that answers your question. If you'll hang with us, we're going to bring you back after
Yes.
Dr. Brian, who's doing a new segment, as you know, Love Bites. So isn't that cute? I love
I
it.
love it.
I know. So we will be right back. Camille, hang with us. I'm going to try to bring you back for another question at toward the end of the hour. Okay?
Sure.
Okay. So we are going to bring on Dr. Brian. Okay, I'm going to do this right. I know I can do it. And I was doing so well all day pronouncing his name. I was practicing it. And then, sure enough, and it's not an easy one, Dr. Rapzenski. Yay! Oh, I think I did it. Hi, Dr. Brian.
Hi, how are you, Dr. Tranquility?
How are you?
Great, thank you.
Well, we're so excited to have you on with your love bites.
Thank you.
That voice today.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Brian Rapzenski, and I'm a relationship coach and sexologist. And this is my little segment, Love Bites, where each week I'll be bringing you little, snippets of information and tips on how to have a, successful dating life, relationships, and sex for all sexual orientations. Today's little segment is called, 8 dating success tips. I'm going to be focusing primarily on gay men in this segment, though a lot of the tips that I'm going to share with you can be helpful for, anybody. I have 8 tips, but in the interest of time, I may probably only get through 4, and we'll do a part 2 next time. So as a dating coach, I have found that there are 8 little ingredients that help gay men to be successful in finding love, and also in increasing what I call a sexiness quotient. So if you do these kind of 8 ingredients or qualities and characteristics in a relationship, you'll find that you'll tend to be more magnetic and you'll have much more success in your dating endeavors. So today I'll probably get through, the first 4, like I said. So number 8, and I don't have a drum roll, unfortunately, but number 8 is having good social etiquette and communication. Again, a lot of these things are applicable to all. Dr. Tranquility, what happened to good manners nowadays? They've been out the window, unfortunately, and having good social etiquette is really an important prerequisite to good relating. And basically, it's just simply, having good manners. Say your pleases, say your thank yous, be chivalrous to the guy that you're dating. And, by doing this, it helps to communicate, respect, maturity, and refinement, and it's just really kind of classy. Communication also means being able to, express your thoughts and your feelings directly and assertively. It means being a good active listener, which means being able to, share airtime with the person, if you're on a first date across the table from at a coffee table, you have a good banter back and forth. And, active listening means being able to, repeat back what you heard in your own words, empathize with the other person, put yourself in their shoes, and really validate and acknowledge what you're hearing so that they feel heard. You also want to make sure that your body language matches what you're saying so that there's congruence between the two. And, as far as the social etiquette thing is concerned, I do hear and have found that online in social media, on dating apps and platforms, that is probably where the worst social etiquette probably exists nowadays. Just the ways that people, I guess the word now is ghosting, where people will say, they'll have a good conversation thing going, and then all of a sudden, poof, they vanish.
Yeah.
And that is very, very poor etiquette. And I think, it's important to remember that the gay community is actually a very small community. And while you think it may be easier for you to, just disappear instead of being assertive and saying how you think or feel, word can get around, and, you don't want to have a bad reputation. So it's just very important to, conduct yourself with integrity and to make sure that you're really being open and honest and, just having good manners. It's not that difficult, but, we just have to put ourselves out there. Yep.
Goes a long way.
Number 7. Gay dating does really well with good old-fashioned courtship. And that's another lost art. I probably am showing my age by thinking that it's important to have courtship. And what I really encourage gay men in particular to do, because in our community, a lot of times, and people will lead with sex and then try to develop a relationship later on down the road after that. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with that, I probably fell victim to that a little bit myself too in my dating days.
Everybody did.
Yeah. I really encourage people to just, pace and let the relationship evolve in its own organic, natural way. Because you really do need to establish trust and intimacy first. If you have sex too soon and there hasn't been that foundation established, it's really easy to just, go on to the next, and you just go through this perpetual turnstile. And that's not, particularly healthy if that's what you're looking for is love. So it's really important that daters know that probably the biggest aphrodisiac is mystery and intrigue in a dating relationship. So what I find is important is by just pacing the relationship and, creating mystery and intrigue by just expanding it out, pacing the relationship, letting it evolve, that, that keeps the dating relationship going, and it keeps your dating partner on their toes so that they want to continue to keep getting to know you. And so when sex does happen, they're more likely to want to stay at that point.
That's beautiful. It's really gorgeous. You're such a smart man.
Oh, well, thank you.
Brian. So give us number 6 really quick.
Thank you. Number 6 is appearance. Appearance and attitude, I would say. And this is a little bit of a controversial topic, which I'll preface. In the gay community, and this is not just a gay thing, it's kind of a man thing, men do tend to be visual creatures. That being said, initial attraction does tend to be focused with men in particular on appearance. However, that's just initially, and that's only just such a small little piece. So, I do want to just kind of put out there that the harsh reality is that men are, in the gay community in particular, are very driven by looks, but that does not at all cover the whole territory. What I really want to emphasize is that the great thing about attraction is that it doesn't discriminate. So if you are worried about looks, it is very important to realize that there is so much more beyond that, such as knowing that everybody has their own unique blueprint, an erotic template of what they find to be, attractive and appealing to them. So there are so many different variations of what people like in a dating relationship that it's important to just, recognize that and don't worry so much about, yes, it's important to try to look and feel and be your best because that's going to really shine through and attract people. But it's also important to know that there's really no set standard of what people find to be, attractive. The gay community, unfortunately, in the media glamorizes a certain type of look in, with gay men. But I hope by my kind of sharing that information, it helps you see that there's so much more of an expansion of what attraction is.
Well, I think that's true of any community. I mean, it was very true of the African American community for the longest time, too. There were certain types of looks of African American women, certain types of looks for African American men that were seen as the standard. And I think it's beautiful that the world is opening up and that there's room for everyone, for all types of looks and all types of attraction. Don't you find, Dr. Brian?
I find in the gay community, unfortunately, that, if you pick up a magazine or a newspaper, it's plastered with a certain kind of plastic look for what a gay man should look like. And what I'm trying to advocate is for men to see that that's just such a stereotype that we have to be able to look beyond that and see that attraction has so much more of a range.
It does. Yeah. It's amazing. And I'm so glad you're advocating for it, and it hopefully will get there soon. I did look for a drum roll for you, but I'm bummed.
Oh, thank you.
Believe it or not, I have a cow and a goat, but I do not have a drum roll.
There we go.
So no drum roll. So we're going to correct that. We'll have that for you next time. Dr. Brian. Okay. Rapzenski.
Almost. You almost got it. Rapzenski.
Okay. When I was talking with Loren earlier, he was like, think of rap. So now I've got it, Rapzenski. So I love you. Your name, thank
you. It's a mouthful.
It's beautiful when you say it, but when I try to say it, I just ruin it. But anyway, we loved having you on. And
thank you so much.
Such an exciting love bite. We had a little love bite. And it's going to be
next time I'll finish up with the remainder of those tips to round it all out.
Yeah, next time we'll have you back and we can do those tips. We're kind of chock-a-block today.
Sounds great. Thank you, everybody. I hope that you found that helpful.
Oh, we do. And it's such a wonderful opportunity to bring in a new community for them to find, help, assistance, guidance, reassurance that they need as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. See you next time.
See you next time, Dr. Brian. Bye.
Bye.
That was Dr. Brian. I'm not going to try to say his name again. No, Rapzenski. I will have it by next week. He is amazing. He is a counselor and doctor, of course, but he is just such a good person and a kind man and a gifted practitioner. So I highly encourage you to check him out. And we just love having him here on the show. If you want to get your questions geared up for him for next week's segment, you may do so. Go ahead and email me at DrTranquility@gmail.com. I've got to bring Camille Hayes in, and we're bringing her back with her next question. All right. Let's rock, baby.
Hello. I am listening to little Maggie Rogers, but so we're getting back to my questionnaire of okay, I just had ended last week's session with the questionnaires of how you're ending a relationship and becoming a better person. This whole week, like I want to phrase up with a question on how do you clear your life out and stay true to your authenticity on your new dating relationship?
How do you clear your life out and stay true to your authenticity? All right.
Yeah.
So clearing your life out is letting go. Letting
Yeah.
go is one of the hardest things that a lot of people have to do. Um, Even people without, I think to some degree, all of us have a little bit of attachment uh,
Yes.
disorder, and some of us have more than others. But it's really just letting go. Because if you want to clear your life out, you have to be willing to let go. Because a lot of people
Yeah.
will sit down and do clearing exercises, but they won't let go. And so it clears it out, and then 5 minutes later, it's back in again, right?
Yeah.
And
But
it
I'm
makes
in
it
this
hard to
weird clearing out phase, and
uh
I just want to get out of this bad habit that I've been in, like Donna has spoken to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Donna Lynn was amazing, and she's a wonderful healer. She's all part of. We were all part. Erin, Claire Jones, Donna
Mm-hmm.
Lynn. This has a couple of other people on who. Bree Hogan, um, Yasmin. Um,
Yeah.
we were all assemblage members. So the assemblage will be sorely missed, and I'm hoping they come up with a new version of
It's
it soon.
it's a good amount of working bodies to like produce and to tell people you have to keep living. You can't keep living through this like bad experience.
Well,
And I loved
you
how
life.
Donna was saying that.
You make your life, and so
Yeah.
it's important to um, set your goals in mind. As Lauren said, it's equally important to resonate what you want to receive, as both Donnalyn and I have said many times on this show. And we talked about that in links on our last show last week.
Yeah.
And it's just so important that you're kind to yourself. This is a tough time, but we're coming out of it. So be kind to
And
yourself. And with
I
that,
lo- I
go
love that you say be kind to yourself because it's so hard. I literally came off a dating experience where we'd known each other for 3 years.
hmm
And it was a situation to where he had told me, hey, we're gonna move in together at such and such date. It's gonna happen. And it was like Donna. It was like Donna had expressed. I had lost my job. I had lost the guy. I had lost everything in one just swoop of everything.
right,
And it caused me to refine myself.
right. And it does that. It does that. And so, Camille Hayes, I thank you so much for being on with us today.
Yeah.
And it was great to have you on. I'll talk with you off air, baby, okay?
Great.
And if you want to reach Camille Hayes as well, you can always leave a message. If you want to call in, excuse me, during her segment, you can call in through 212-920-1603. And that's true of all the segments that we have on through the duration of the show. You can also send text questions if you want to ask questions of our experts. And we had a lot of experts on. We were blessed to have Donna Lynn Civello. We also had on Dr. Brian, Dr. Brian of Love Bites, and uh, Rapensky. Rapensky, yeah. So I'm going to have that down by next week. I promised I would have it this week, but I'm calling him Rapzenski, and he just said that that's not quite right either. You're always welcome to reach out to me. I am Dr. Tranquility Lydia. You can find me on Instagram at Dr. Tranquility Lydia. You can also find the protocol Date Therapy on Instagram at Date Therapy. Both Dr. Tranquility and Date Therapy are .coms, and drtranquility.com, date, D-A-T-E, therapy, one word, .com. And you'll find all of that and more, along with other things. They are forwarded to Satori XPR, which is our boutique PR firm helping people get the word out. And so we thank you so much for joining us tonight. We love you all. Let's take a deep breath, closing off the right nostril and breathing through the left. Go out, make it happen, tune in, be blessed. Take care.